Good afternoon, Coach. We're glad you're here today. We just want to talk to you a little bit about the upcoming season. What do you see what's been the biggest change after you ended last season in the upcoming season now?
Well, we had a great game last year. I certainly finished the season. So we're very pleased. I'm very happy about that, about the way we ended things. And, certainly looking forward to this first game against Athens. I'm looking forward to, Philip Rivers, getting back to his hometown in Athens, know his mommy and daddy. Certainly great people and had a positive impact on his life. And, I think he's had a positive impact on a lot of other people, especially the St. Michael football community. He's a great Catholic, and I think he's a great role model in terms of his effectiveness as a Catholic and living that out. But this is going to be a great season, and I think we're going to try to finish off what we did last year. But what happened last year? This is a new year. Last year, it has no bearing on what we're going to do this year. We're trying to win every single game we play. And I told Philip I was going to help him do that. And try to help coach Alabama as well to another national championship. It's going to be hard. But I certainly look forward to the challenge of that.
Well, Coach Saban, I understand that, but last year one of the biggest wins St. Michael had was against the Jackson team from Jackson, Alabama, and y'all sort of the St. Michael team sort of stunned them with Philip Rivers. This year they scheduled that game for senior night. Well, how do you think our boys are going to perform, or is Jackson going to be ready? That was a great win last year for y'all.
Well, Jackson has a great team. Certainly. We have a great team. Obviously, last year, being able to get a win, that was a very big win for us. A big win for the program, and I think gave the guys a lot of confidence, heading into the rest of the season. And I think, I really haven't had a chance to, look at Jackson. But I know that they're going to have another great team, and I know that we're going to have another great team. But I think you're asking me a question about a team that. Midway through the season, I'm worried about game one, against Gulf Shores, and of course the game before that against Athens. So I can't really comment on that, but I know that our guys are going to be prepared, and I know they'll be prepared, and I know it's going to be another great game. All right.
Well, that sounds great, Coach. Hey, Coach, let me ask you this: Josh Murphy was your quarterback last year. Josh Murphy's coming back this year. What do you think about old Josh?
Well, Josh is a great player for us, even better human being, better individual. I know his mommy and daddy. It certainly comes from a great, family background. Has all the intangibles that you want as a quarterback, and is working to progress and get better there. And he's had a great spring so far, and there's been a great leader. Certainly was a great leader for us last year. In terms of getting the play call out. I know I gave him a few chewings last year about some of the calls and where he was going with the ball, but I think he's doing a much better job this year in terms of knowing where to go with the ball and making the right calls at the line of scrimmage. And we're certainly pleased and looking forward to the kind of year. No, he's going to have a great year, and at least we hope. But I think overall this team is responding. Guys like Clay Barr, I don't think I've seen an offensive lineman that we've had yet be able to stop Clay Barr in the middle. And I think he's going to be a huge contributor, an effective player for us. And continue to get better. And Ezra Sexton and does a great job in terms of hitting the holes and making the right reads, and kind of has the vision and the speed and able to get to that second level, which is what we want, and it's going to be huge in our division, in our league. And so I'm certainly pleased and looking forward to starting the season.
That sounds great, Coach. Hey, on that note, you've gotten to see Coach Rivers in his first year. He's gone through the gamut with the first year. Any advice you could give old Coach Rivers about how to take on the high school atmosphere with the different coaches? Because it's a little bit different from the college scene to the high school scene, but what can you give him to help him along?
Well, first of all, Coach Rivers has done a phenomenal job making the transition from NFL to the high school game. And, I'm sure there's nothing I could tell him that he probably doesn't already know. But, he's certainly being patient. I think that's one of Philip's best qualities is, I think he understands really better than anybody, which is why I like to have him on our staff to help us, win a championship and maybe Bryce a Heisman again. But I think that he understands, the game. Obviously having played in it in a professional level, but I think he does a great job in terms of, communicating, footwork with the quarterback and, where guys need to be and getting guys lined up properly. I think that's the biggest thing is the understanding the game, because once they're out there, they're live bullets, every Friday or Thursday, you got to be prepared, got to be prepared. And I think, Phillips guys have, shown last season that, they have the confidence to go out and, expect to win. That's the biggest difference that I noticed my first year at Alabama to the 2008 year, even though we came up short, as the guys understood what it takes to finish a game, and sort of understand, where they need to be on the field and kind of see the whole field. And I think that they did a great job in terms of adjusting to the speed of the game.
Well, Coach, let me ask you this. There's a couple of players I want to talk about real quick that we hadn't touched on yet. You got a big offensive lineman in that Parker Boss.
Well,
he's a sophomore. He'll be a sophomore this year. So what do you think about that?
Parker Boss did a tremendous job for us last year, played like a boss. That's what we call him. And, is a great dresser. A lot of people don't know, even though he wears the same uniform day in and day out, he always has different shoes. Does his hair differently and kind of, keeps up his game. And I think the girls like that. And, but he's a great leader for us, last year, and we think he's going to do a great job this year. And we certainly are pleased with the progress that he's making in terms of, his first couple of steps at the offensive line are very important in getting off the ball, and keeping guys away from, the quarterback. And, we're certainly pleased with him. He's done a great job, and I think he's gained a few extra pounds. I think that's going to help him, and done a great job with the strength and conditioning program, and know that he's going to be an effective player for us, and we look forward to him, helping us win some games this year.
Well, on that note, too, you're all about family, Coach. I hear you talk about family all the time. Well, the Helper family, they're going to have two this year playing on the team. They had Trevor Helper, who's at Millsaps. He's moved on to Millsaps. But they got a Justin Helper, who's going to be on the defensive side of the ball, and Cooper Helper, who was the quarterback last year for the middle school team, rising up this year to be challenging Josh for the position. What do you say about that Helper family?
Well, I know his mommy and daddy, and I know Corey from the LSU days. He was a great player for LSU, and, know that he's taught his boys, a lot. And, the apple sort of really didn't fall far from the tree there in terms of football knowledge and playing with the kind of intensity that you have to play with. And, I think Justin broke the record or something like that last year in terms of interceptions. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
So we know he's going to be another, effective player for us, and we're very excited to have him. And his older brother, did a great job, for us. And I know his younger brother, I forgot his name, Cooper. Cooper's shown great instinct and great speed. His mom's a great teacher at Christ the King, and really does the best job in terms of keeping those kids in line. She does it all day. Anyway, so we know that those boys are going to be effective and already are effective for us, and we're certainly pleased with the way that they've turned out and the way that they've progressed, and I know that they're going to have a big year. All right.
Well, you know, it's funny. We always talk about the local boys, but last year we had a little bit of a California influence with the Sella boys coming on. Tyler Sella, Darren Sella's son. What do you think about that boy coming from California and how he's contributed to the team?
Well, you know, we recruited California area, and I told Philip, I said, you know as well as I do, Philip, you know, guys in California are probably a little bit step faster, in terms of the quickness of their feet. I mean, I think everybody kind of brings their own, you know, level of speed to the game. But you know, they've certainly have shown that they have some great athleticism. We're certainly pleased with what we've seen so far, and I think they're doing a great job in terms of catching on to, you know, Phillips, you know, schemes, kind of a hurry up, a lot of no huddle concepts, and that Phillip tries to run, and you know, they're catching on really quick and doing a great job and buying in and being team players. You know, I think that's the best thing about this team, the St. Michael football team, is that they're a team player. You know, they go to Mass. I participate in the Eucharist and the sacraments. I think that's the biggest step for any player to be able to have. And you know, I think anytime you have a player that's bought into the Catholic faith, practices their faith, in which these players do, I think that helps them, you know, to be the best player that they can be for the team. You know, that they really sort of had this all-in, you know, principle, and it started last year, and I think it's going to start again too. All right.
Well, Coach, if we won't keep you too much longer, but if I could just ask you one thing: if you had one solid piece of advice for Coach Rivers on his second year, what do you think that would be? What do you think would be a good solid piece for him to carry on through as he's thinking? As y'all must talk every week or maybe every day. I'm not sure how often y'all talk, but what could you give him as a solid piece of advice coming up for this upcoming year, second year?
Well, you know, probably, you know, to manage expectations. You know, the bar has sort of been set from the first year, but I think the most important thing that he has to sort of relay to his team is that there were some games last year that probably didn't finish as well as they did, and so, you know, finishing the games. They got to finish the games at the line of scrimmage, and you can't look at the scoreboard. You know, a lot of times, you know, you get these players, you know, we're up, you know, 30 or down 30. They start jawing at the mouth at other players. I'm like, well, who's the Catholic here? Who's the Christian here? Who's acting like that? I don't think you act like a Christian or a Catholic or any kind of person. When you're jawing at somebody, talking smack. Let your play do the talking. Don't let the talk do the talking. All right? So I think that's the biggest thing that, you know, he's going to have to manage is, you know, some of the players, you know, probably got a little, you know, hot mouth, all right? And so not get ahead of themselves and respect the opponent, you know, which I think they did a pretty good job of last year, and they're going to have to do a great job again. You know, Michael Jordan, didn't matter if they were up by 50, or down by 50. Michael Jordan always played his opponent like that was the best opponent he was ever going to play. All right? So.
Well, Coach, that is wonderful. I can't thank you enough for this interview, getting ready for the season. I hope you and Coach Rivers have a great time this year, and we look forward to getting back with you soon.
Well, I look forward to getting back with you guys and know it's going to be a great year for St. Michael football, and we're going to finish and win every single game that we play. All right? So, Roll Tide and go Cardinals.